This video will show how to improve efficiency by taking advantage of the new Inherit mTrace feature along with combo tests in NCS Plus. So in my study window, I have a right median with F test and a right ulnar with F test. So you'll see what sites I have set up is a median wrist, and then an F wave wrist, and then a median elbow. And then I can unhide if I want to do additional sites from there. There's additional sites that are hidden there. So I'm going to start, and the other thing I like to do when I'm doing combo tests is go to the cogwheel and auto hide traces. This will auto hide all the traces of test types that aren't currently selected. I'll show what I mean by that in a minute. So we're going to collect some traces at the wrist, the median motor. Here. Okay. Once I show I have super maximal, I'm going to go ahead and hit store, and that takes me right to the F wave test. And you can see there I've already collected 5 F waves or so. So this is reducing how many times I have to stimulate the patient, as well as improving my efficiency of how long it takes to do the test. So here I just need to stim 4 or 5 more times to get all the F waves that I need. And now I have plenty of F waves to find the earliest F response. If I want to, I don't have to, but if I want to delete these early ones, I can. I can just right click and delete the traces if I don't want to keep traces that don't have a response. But you can see what it did there is it brought over the traces from the trace history of the motor test right into the F wave. So I didn't have to move my stimulator, I just hit store, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit store again, which will take me to the median motor at the elbow, and it hides the F wave test because I have auto hide set on, so it's hiding any tests that aren't selected. And now I'm going to go ahead and stimulate the median of the elbow. Oops, that's the wrist. There we go. Get a super maximal response, and there I'm done with my motor and F wave. And I can hit next test on my StimTroller, and it takes me right to the ulnar. We'll switch sides here and move on to the ulnar. So here we're going to find, again, the wrist. Get a super maximum response. Store takes me right into the F waves. They already have collected plenty of F waves, but I'm going to stim a few more times. That's plenty of F waves. I can adjust that cursor with the mouse or the purple knob, and then hit store, and that takes me right back to the below elbow. Get a response below the elbow. And then store that and go above elbow. And then I can go ahead and enter distance in either with the StimTroller by pushing the button or just typing in the distances that I measured. And there I'm happy with my responses. If I want to compare those, I can go to overlay, and overlay again, we'll put them right on top of each other. Clicking on the F site will show me the F responses, and I can scroll through all of those. To set this test up, you can go into Edit Test Protocols. Typically you want to close out of the study you're in because it changes these settings for all new studies from this point on. So we're going to go to Edit Test Protocols, and then in NCS Plus, you can go into the Test tab, which gives you all the tests. And what I did is there's already combo tests set up in our defaults, so you can find the median with F and the ulnar with F. So I just went to the median with F, and here's the sites in that test. We have a wrist, and then an F wave wrist, and then an elbow, axilla, and Erb's point. These last 2 sites are hidden. So if I go to the F wave site, down here in additional settings, I have Inherit M. And so what I did is I unchecked the default, which is disabled, and then I went to Inherit M, and I can choose all or just the one that's if it's a normal F latency, and then if normal, both the M and F latency are normal, then it'll bring in the trace. So I use all traces because then I can just select from those traces or delete whichever ones I don't want, and then go to the ulnar. And same thing, go to the F test, go to uncheck the default, and then change this from disabled to all traces. And then I can go down and do that with the fibular and tibial tests as well. And then just hit OK, and it'll be set up. Make sure if you're using a CADLink preserve file that you at that point go into File, update catalog preserve file. And obviously you'll need to make sure you have permissions to do that before you make any settings changes.